So, James, every interview we do, we always start with a simpler question. If you could sum your career up in one word, so far, with everything you've done, how would you describe it?
Oh, lunacy, probably. If between ladder matches and cage matches and death matches over the last couple of years, yeah, just a whirlwind's another one. Um, it's all come on pretty thick and fast over the last 18 or so months, especially just within Perth wrestling. But yeah.
Crazy, right? I mean, well, Breezy, you've pretty much summed it up before we came on the air. One crazy man, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've not just got any Australian professional wrestler, we've got the EPW World Heavyweight Champion.
That is indeed. That is me. Flying the flag for the old blue over here in Perth.
The main man himself. So, what's it like and the challenge that you had being world champion for one of the major companies in Australia?
So it's been interesting. I've been tag champion before for EPW, but that sort of the level change between tag team wrestling and like heavyweight championship wrestling, I guess the changes sort of come when you don't have that sort of person to come up with you. You sort of have to just do it yourself. Um, a lot of responsibility, a lot of eyes on, especially when it comes to we've had the WWE over the last couple of years, so we've had people from around the country come into Perth, and I'm sort of the figurehead of EPW at the moment. So it's having that connection there to sort of be like, oh, who do you talk to in Perth? Oh, it's Hartness. So having that has been a lot, but it's been lovely. Like I've chatted to so many people from around the country, people that I wouldn't have chatted to otherwise. But yeah, it's been really good.
I like that.
Okay. I've got a follow-up question from that. How did it all begin for you at EPW?
So I signed up for EPW back in 2015. I was fresh. I was a year out of high school, and I was sitting in TAFE, which is college over here, and I was halfway through an events management degree, and I kind of went, I can't be bothered. Actually, I don't think I want to do this. I think I actually want to just do pro wrestling. And it was during the time that Progress was like kicking off on all cylinders. Like the Brit Rest scene was just absolutely insane at the time, and I was like, I think I just want to do it. I want to give it a go. So I contacted EPW because I'd never actually been to an EPW show before I started wrestling for them. I'd seen them at like a markets show like around the corner from my house that I was going to go to one Saturday, and I was like, I'll go another time, and I never did. And then, oh god, 50 like 10 years later, it was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go and actually do it now and throw my hat in the ring. And yeah, that was over, well, that's going on 11 years ago now. So
So, you've been in the business for coming up to like 8, 9, 10 years. What is some of the
yeah, so
challenges that you've had over that time that you've had to
um
like just face straight ahead?
my biggest thing has sort of been my fitness journey was the major thing. When I was coming into wrestling, I wasn't like I've never been majorly athletic even when I was younger. I suffered with juvenile arthritis in my left hand side, so I didn't really get, like, I couldn't really be active because my joints would swell up. So that was the main thing for the longest time. But then um, I started pro wrestling, and just sort of, life gets in the way and all that sort of fun stuff. So it was a fair amount of time before I actually debuted. But then when I had debuted, I was in not the greatest nick. But within the last 18 or so months, I've been working with Muff from Progress 365 over here in Perth. He's a lifestyle coach. So I've actually ended up dropping 50 kilos since 2023. Like completely, like, just it's all fallen off over time, but this is a complete change of that sort of thing. And that was the blinders on sort of, like, I've got mates around me that are skyrocketing and I'm just doing the same thing. And it's like, oh well, there is one major thing we can change in regards to that. So yeah, getting a hold of my health, like, because it fixes your mental health as well. But getting a fix of like my mental health, my physical health, and all that sort of stuff was like the main challenge that I've faced in the last 3 or 4 years, I suppose.
Okay. Now, when we're doing research and stuff like that, we always come across like some unique names. Dude, where's my ring? Tell me about this.
So, Dude, Where's My Ring is a project that was started by Michelle K. Hasluck, who's royalty of professional wrestling over here, and two boys from the Pulse, Felix Young and Jared Slate, and they sort of started this. We'd seen deathmatch wrestling done in Australia, and it was sort of like we want to do it here, but we want to do it in a way that we can kind of just have our little control over it. Obviously, no ring wrestling was, I think you can mainly attribute it to Casanova Valentine from America. And we were sort of like, we can do that here. We have mates that are in the hardcore scene. We have like friends that want to do mental stuff. It doesn't always have to be blood and guts. But we were trying to figure out a name for it. And we were all throwing ideas at the wall, and it was like a sort of thing. And then Jared Slate was actually the one that came back and was just like, why don't we just call it Dude, Where's My Ring? And I was like, it's pretty good. Like, it's a hard one to beat, because then eventually, if we ever do run a ring, it's like, oh, but Dude found the ring. Like, it's just the possibilities are endless. But
It's
yeah,
it's a unique name, I'm going to be honest with you.
oh, it's fabulous. I love seeing like unique names for wrestling, like for promotions. It's always my favorite. And yeah, it's such a unique one, because again, you just go, but like if you walked in and just went, Dude, where's the ring? It's like, oh, you go.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you've faced like, so I've watched a few of them, and like I said to you before we came on, you are one crazy guy. And I mean, the one with Charlie Evans, which is up there, and the one with Mikey Nichols, which the amount of blood that was coming out of that match, wow. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
were them two like?
those are two of my favorite. I've wrestled Mikey twice in Dude Where's My Ring. We're 1-for-1 at the moment. Mike is someone who I credit as sort of giving me that like the rocket, I guess. Like I wrestled him for EPW as well as Dude in the same calendar year, and that wrestling Mike, like you can talk to anyone who's wrestled Mike in Australia. That is an experience in itself, and if you come out of the other side of it, it's you just become a better wrestler. It's so weird. It's like by osmosis. You sort of you catch the Mikey bug, and you just like your ability just skyrockets. And I wrestled him the first time 2 years ago now, and that was absolutely insane. And then wrestling him again last year as a different person was absolutely phenomenal. I love wrestling Mike. He fucking batters the shit out of me every time. But it's just you go for it. It's absolutely beautiful. And then Chevs has always been someone that I've looked up to, and I've sort of tried to match that level that she carries herself with, because she does carry herself to such a high standard. And then when she came over here and it was going to be the death match, we were both buzzing. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. We were both buzzing. We knew that like going into it, the emo style death match as well, we could pull off so much ridiculous nonsense that like shouts out to the scene, but also sort of gets to put across to people who just absolutely love what we do and put everything into it. Because death matches, obviously, it gets a bad rep sometimes, but when it's done well, it's some of the best stuff in wrestling. And Chevs is someone who I've always had deathmatch work has always been that just higher level of performance.
Yeah, you mentioned there, obviously, it gets a good bad rep, and that's something that winds me up. Does it wind you up, obviously, being involved in it?
You see it. I can see it on both ends. Like it's the old flavors of ice cream adage that everyone throws around. Like it's not for everyone, but it's just I'm not really a fan of the American style of deathmatch. But I'm not saying there's no good American deathmatch wrestlers, but it's just how you go about doing death matches, because some people just kind of use it as oh well, that's easy. I can kind of just coast through and just throw some light tubes at people and all that sort of stuff. But when it gets to that point where it is part of the actual physicality of a match, that's when it becomes great. But people just don't really invest in that, because it's just roll around in wire and that's all you need to do.
Yeah. So, would you say the James Hartness character is different to the person you are outside the ring?
Yes and no. It's always fun meeting the family members of people that I wrestle, because it's just the way I carry myself as a performer is different to how I carry myself outside. I'm still me. A lot of the time, it's always like, you know, turning yourself up to 11 with pro wrestling, but it's the I'm not going around barking and biting people and spitting on them when I'm just meeting them for the first time. But yeah, I always get, oh, you're a lot nicer in person. And I was like, I don't always go around headbutting people. Like, it's only the weekends I do that. So yeah, it's a lot of like influence of like, you know, childhood watching like British gangster movies and all that sort of stuff, and you know that sort of dives into it. And I'm a lot more British when I do wrestle. Turn up the accent 5,000% when I get out there. But yeah, I suppose it's shades of what I enjoy as me compared to what happens in the ring as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell us about the nickname, the King of the Emos.
So King of the Emos came about because it was a while ago. I was tagging with someone and we were both into emo culture. That's how we became friends. Both into emo culture, both into that sort of subgenre. And I started calling us, like, we were just a pair of emo kings. And then as I debuted, I was kind of like, I had a moniker of bitter and then some, because I was the last to graduate from my training class, and I was, you know, not getting opportunities. You know, the old fun stuff when you start wrestling and you don't really know what you're doing. And I was like, I kind of want to move away from that. As much as I do love BATS, which was the acronym, like BATS, I have a bat tattooed on my knee as a reminder of pro wrestling. And I've got it on my gear now, so it can never leave. But I was like, King of the Emo sounds really hard though. Like, it's really, really, like, it's fun. I've definitely gotten more into it as of late. Of just it's such a, because you hear King of the Emos and it's just like, yep, black nail polish, eyeliner on, like less so my music and the jacket, but got patches of, like, you know, emo culture and all that sort of stuff. So it's like I've always said, it's a vibe. It's as much as it is a subgenre, you know, you feel the emo.
Okay. So you mentioned like British quite a lot, and British wrestling, like British gangster movies, and to me, you don't sound Australian. Like, you've got like a little twang, but where are you actually from?
So I'm from Southeast London. I'm from Sidcup.
Yeah, I thought so.
So I grew up in Sidcup until I was about 10, and then we emigrated over to Australia. And my mum and dad have still got the accent completely. My middle brother's lost it. My oldest brother now lives back in London, and I'm sort of on the fence. It was always teased at me that I didn't sound as British as I do now when I started wrestling. It's sort of like the subconscious thing of having to put the accent on. It's just lingered, and it's just I've regressed back to having the British accent. There's some words and some twangs when I'm like in a group of people that if I'm with a British person, it'll just, the accent skyrockets. Me and Chev's around each other, it is hilarious because obviously she spends so much time in the UK, so we just talk British to each other basically. So that the bit from Austin Powers when he meets Michael Caine, when he meets his dad, it's basically just that. But when I'm around Australians, a lot of the time I sort of just dip into more sounding like what I'm around, like a chameleon effect, I suppose.
I like that. Awesome.
Chameleon effect, love it. So tell us a little bit about the Australian wrestling scene. We obviously know PWA, we obviously know EPW. What's obviously beyond that?
So
MCW.
MCW, yeah, I was about to say that was my first one. So obviously you've got PWA, top one in Sydney, MCW, top one in Melbourne. In Melbourne as well, you've got Mayhem, you've got I'm losing my mind. I'm going to Adelaide now because my brain's just gone straight to Adelaide. Wrestle Rampage, Wrestle Renegades, that's what I'm thinking of in Melbourne. Wrestle Rampage, Riot City Wrestling, which is where Rhea Ripley and Zarya are from. But there's wrestling in the ACT as well, in the Australian capital. You've got Slam, which is like a massive up and coming promotion. The Northern Territory has Top End Wrestling. Tasmania's got TCW, like Tasmanian Championship Wrestling. There's QWA, and I'm blanking up, Pro Wrestling League over in Queensland. So there's other promotions here in Perth as well. You've got New Horizons, you've got Southern Territory. It's as much as it's a big scene in a way, but because we're all so spread out, like we don't really have many crossovers between Perth and the eastern states as we would like in America or in England or anything like that. But the talent level around the country is a lot higher. I think it's because we just perpetually carrying ourselves with that chip on our shoulder of like, well, we're all just really fucking good down here. And sorry, we're all really good down here. And when you get the opportunity to shine, like it's immediately noticed. Like Grayson Waller in the WWE is phenomenal, and he's been phenomenal for ages. Zarya, obviously, very very recently, but like Rhea Ripley, Bronson Reed, like Shane and Mike went to Noah back in the day. They were the Gaijin Tag Team of the Year in Tokyo Sports. Like the level down here is just absolutely insane, and I think it is that carrying yourself to a higher standard, because when people do notice us, it's like untouchable, like genuinely untouchable.
Nice. So, who would you say is like Australian wrestling scene? Who's the 5 names that comes to mind that are really shining right now?
Right now, Lucas Fantasia from Perth. He's one of my mates. He's absolutely he's a stunning professional wrestler. Like just the skill level, the size that he's at the moment. He's small, but he is an absolute bullet. I wrestled him last month, and even though he's small, he actually beat the shit out of me. Like he still carries himself. It's the old like it's not the dog in the fight, it's the fight in the dog, and he's a vicious little bastard. Matt Hayter from Adelaide is just in ring absolutely untouchable. I think he's just a phenomenal pro wrestler. In Melbourne, I'm going to go 2 in Melbourne. I think Robbie Thorpe is, oh my god, he's so handsome and so talented, and so I got so annoyed. I was at PWA Metro, the Rumble show last year, and I was sitting there and I was talking to Dusky, and I was showing to Edward Dusk, who's another name I'm going to mention, and Ricky South, who's in Canada now. And Robbie Thorpe walked in the room, all 6'3", like 100 kilos of chiseled man that he is. I walked in and I was like, I'm fucking fuming that they make English people like that and they make them like this. And this is bollocks. Like, how the fuck did I draw the short straw on this? But he's absolutely sensational wrestler. Edward Dusk is again another one of my friends who I'm going to shout out because he's absolutely brilliant. He's hit a different stride in the last 2 years. He's looking phenomenal. He's carrying himself well. He's still relatively untouchable on the mic and in promos and in presentation and all that sort of thing. And I'm going to throw 2 in for Sydney because they're both legends, and that is Scott Green and the Tuckman, the Dropouts. Just my God, the boys have absolutely fucking taken over the world. They are not only do they both work to the fucking bone, but they just carry themselves with such a fucking beautiful vibe that even when like both of them are grinding and they're trying to fight through injury or soreness or whatever, they're just the best people to be around. They're just absolute sweethearts. Like I could spend days and days talking to those 2 boys, even if there's nothing to talk about, because that's just the people that they are. Like,
so we've obviously spoke to many Australian talent. What match or matches represent the Australian wrestling scene like the best in your opinion?
oh God, that's a hard one. I'm not going to throw a single match out, but the Coliseum tournament in PWA, anytime that tournament's on, is a fantastic representation of who is the talent in Australian wrestling at the time. Like, it's been won by Robbie Eagles, Jess Troy, Charlie Evans. It's like and most recently Scott Green. And it's like if you're noticed for Coliseum, that tournament has everyone watching. Like, it happened when AEW were over in Sydney this year, and you had first round matches like Robbie Thorpe and Edward Dusk. You had Scott Green and Frankie B, which was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal match. So that's sort of like the measuring stick. The Coliseum tournament as a whole is always like the measuring stick for like my generation coming up. Like if you'll notice, it's like a tick of approval. Like, yeah, no, this person is going to be something.
Okay.
So I asked Edward Dusker this like a few nights ago. I said, if you could pick 5 people to go into a Australian Wrestling Hall of Fame, because there isn't one, but there should be, who would it be and why? It could be past, and it could be present or current. You can pick 5 people.
5 people. All right. First one that comes to Storm. God damn it. First one that comes to mind is Davis Storm from Perth. One of the OG EPW boys, started it back in 2001, carried it until his retirement last year at the Super Show, had a blinding retirement match against the Don. Still has his entire soul in EPW despite not wrestling for EPW anymore. Just as an absolute sweetheart as well. Makes a great coffee, great to have a chat with. Just the best sort of people. Madison Eagles is the goat. She's so cool. I remember meeting her last year. It was so awesome. She just absolutely rocks. Madison Eagles' contributions to just not to Australian wrestling now as a trainer at PWA, but also just to, you know, everyone coming up watching, like that's what you can achieve. Like with her work in Shimmer, and just like her work as a larger, like a taller sort of woman has influenced people like Lena Cross nowadays, Steph Delander. There's like a blueprint to follow. I'm gonna chuck 2 in for this one. Both OG members of TMDK, Mike Nichols, Shane Haste. Perth boys, so they always get a tick of approval. Were 2 of the first ones from Perth that sort of made that jump. Like they were the ones that made that, like, we can leave. You know the door. You know that's how doors work, right? Like you can just go out of them and you can always come back. So they are, and Shane and Mike, even to this day, so happy to receive a message and chat to you, give you feedback. Mike still comes down to the EPW training school and like helps take trainings or just guide us when he's in town, and that's fabulous. Shane does the exact same thing, always stops by, and their tag work, and even their tag work recently, but even like 2010's tag stuff when they were in Noah was just absolutely insane. Like there's so many dream matches of like TMDK versus different American tag teams that never happened, and it's like the what if of like if they ever made it to TNA or Ring of Honor or anything like that. There's 2 there. I'm gonna give another one. Yeah, 1, 2. Done 4, ain't I?
Got 1 more.
Got 4. Who am I gonna go for that last one? Oh, Jax Jordan. This is going to be an outside shout. Jax Jordan is works in Sydney, wrestles for PWA, but he is potentially the hardest working behind the scenes person I've ever met in my entire life. The production level, the attention to detail that PWA is at is thanks, especially in more recent years, is thanks to Jax Jordan. Every promo, every graphic. He has such a vision for pro wrestling that when he gets the chance to sink his teeth into something and just like grab it and run with it, he's absolutely untouchable. Like across the board, he's absolutely phenomenal. Absolute sweetheart as well. But yeah, one of the unsung heroes I think in Australian wrestling is Jax Jordan, because he doesn't just help PWA as well. Like when he came over to Perth, he was happy to take photos with the boys. He hung out with us, obviously, but he's like taking photos of our wrestlers. He wrestled as well. He was bringing great vibes. He was filming backstage at the show. He was giving like Perth wrestling content. When he goes to Melbourne and works with MCW, he does the exact same thing there. And it's all thankless in a way, but it's just selfless because he doesn't even think about it. He just does it, and he doesn't ask anything in return. He's just absolute unsung hero. So yeah, those are my 5. That's my first ballot, just off the top of my noggin for my Australian Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Interesting. So, is it hard now being a wrestling fan? Now, obviously, you're involved in wrestling.
I think a lot of the times, yes. It's very rare. I was actually chatting to a friend of mine last night about it, that we find it very rare that you kind of just get to turn your brain off and enjoy wrestling without watching it to like you accidentally end up studying it, or you accidentally end up like finding stuff that you're like, that was a bit slop. That was a bit like, oh, wouldn't have done that. Would have put it back this way. But when you get the chance to turn your brain off and you get to enjoy, it, it's another level. Like we were saying, when WWE came to Perth last year, and they did that absolutely mind blowing AJ Styles John Cena match. That was a time where I got to just turn my brain off and just enjoy wrestling, and it was phenomenal. I went to the Friday night SmackDown taping as well when they were over here, and again, just turn your brain off, just watch, just enjoy it for what the show it was. So much fun. Me and a bunch of the lads stayed up and watched All in London. Wasn't last year, it was the year before, 2024 maybe. And McGuinness came out, and I almost went through I went through the roof. It was like 3 a.m. I almost went through the roof. Because that's a moment where you just kind of get to like remove yourself from wrestling and enjoy yourself. And it's the best. We try and do it, like I was saying before, when there's like a Coliseum tournament on, or there's a live stream of a promotion around Australia. We kind of just get together and try and watch it as wrestling fans without having to, sit down and go, I'll watch it. Like MCW a lot of the time. Because I'm quite close with Dusk. I'll watch the show, and he goes, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Let me watch it in like a week's time, so I can actually think about it." Because when I just sit down and watch it, I'm just trying to enjoy the show for what it is. And like, if it does feel obviously oddly paced or whatever, then there's no here or there about it. But for watching matches, I'm just trying to enjoy wrestling like I did when I was, 14, watching it in my bedroom at 2 a.m. whenever the shows were on. Like,
Yeah. So how do you mentally prepare for a match?
that's another thing I actually had a really recent conversation about. Everyone's obviously got their pre-show rituals. So I end up painting my nails the night before. Usually, I usually do my own nails, or my partner comes over and does it for me because she does a very nice coach. I don't have them done right now actually, because I'm not wrestling until next weekend. So I do my nails the night before. Do the old classic. I don't tan as part of the gimmick, but also I've just never tanned for wrestling. So like King of the Emos, I'm just pale always. It's like that sort of, it's a standing out on the show kind of thing, but also I just don't, it's a very British thing. Yeah. I'm trying to avoid a t-shirt tan at all times, but it all just blends into one. I'm just pale. I'm just naturally pale. Before a match, I'll always, I do my wrist tape twice. I do it once, and then I wet my hair, and then my wrist tape starts coming off, so I do my wrist tape again. It's always been the thing. I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I wait until after I wet my hair to put my wrist tape on. But I put my wrist tape on, wet my hair, put my wrist tape back on. Do the old classics. I've got a little playlist to like hype myself up. It's a lot of like self-talk, and a lot of like, I've got a stretching routine from Progress 365 from my coach. I've got a little like stretching routine that I go for, but it's a lot of like self-talk of like, yeah, motherfucker, you know who you are. I proper G myself up. Like, I'm gonna go through this fucking brick wall. Like, I'm gonna actually smash this. Like, I've got my brick wall playlist, I've called it. So it's like, it goes from Trapped Under Ice to good, like Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. It's like just songs that you feel it, and you're just like, I'm gonna actually smash this. But it's so weird what's in there.
Okay. Let's turn that question 180. How do you wind down after a match?
Usually, what's that?
A monster.
Yeah, usually it's the old white monster. Just I have 2 ready, one to pour over myself and one to drink until I eventually pass out at like 2 a.m. Winding down for a match, usually I just lay down. I have to like ground myself after a match, especially because with a lot of more recent ones, obviously we've wrestled in the main event and all that sort of stuff. I just sort of have to lie down. Luckily the venue we have is like a little grassed area outside, so I can kind of just go outside and just lay down for a little bit and just breathe, because I run at 1,000% when I go out. So trying to come down from that is, especially these days, is like, whoa, okay, need to reel it back. But then usually it's just a case of, all right, sit down for a little bit. I'll have the rest of whatever Powerade I'm drinking, and then I'll just kind of just sit down a little bit. Knee pads come off, and I'm like, and everyone's like, all right, we have to go now. Like we have to, rings packed, and I'm like, it's been 2 hours. I've just been sitting here staring into space. Lovely, brilliant. But and more recently, actually, we've got we do Nando's catering at EPW, which is fun.
Oh,
So before my match, like, I can't eat before a match. I get too nervous. I'll just squirrel away like 2 half wraps and a pizza, and I'll just like squirrel it away in my bag. And then afterwards, I'll just sit down and just eat Nando's, and I just be like, all right, cool, I'm good now. And I can enjoy this mild Nando's that's absolutely fucking cold as ice, but it's just refreshing, you know what I mean?
nice. What is the worst move that you've taken?
Oh, worst move that I've taken. Something that really fucking hurt. I saw something recently that really. I took a German. I'll tell you what. No, actually, I lie. I took a what are they called? A sliced bread. Sliced bread. That's what it is. I took a sliced bread double power bomb off the ladder at one point in a ladder match a couple of years ago, but my leg got caught in the ladder. So I got folded in half because I was taking this move and I was being power bombed, and then the ladder started flying over the top. So I was like, oh my God. But I landed so high on that, it just absolutely took me out. And more recently, I took a superplex in my cage match in December, and that was horrendous. That was the worst idea I've ever had. Like I landed just there was the ring usually has a lot of give. Like I will throw that out. The EPW ring is really nice to wrestle in. Had nothing. There was nothing there for me that night. It was like I landed on bricks. It was fucking dreadful. I was laying there for about 25 seconds. I was like, help.
Getting your wind
The rest
back.
like, you're right. And I was like, I think so. I don't know.
Oh dear. So what's some worst injuries you've had then?
I have, touch wood, I have had next to no injuries in pro wrestling. Again, I've got cuts and scrapes and all that sort of stuff. I've got a scar on my arm where I got stabbed with a kendo stick by Jesse Lambert. Thank you, Jay Lambs. But I think probably most recently, less so injuries, but the worst thing that's happened was I went through a glass pane last year against Jared Slate at Dude Where's My Ring, and it just like ruined my back for like 2.5 weeks. It was just dreadful. Like the glass came out obviously, but it just carved the shit out of my back. Like no, I think got like 3 or 4 deep scars. The rest were like superficial, but it just sucked. Like every shower was fucking pain because it was just hitting the relatively open wounds. And I was like, yep, fantastic. Yep, love this. I do love this. I love this. Like
This doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah, but yeah, touch wood, no major injuries so far. I've had a couple of little niggles, couple of little ankle tweaks and shoulders a little bit rough, but so far nothing rough.
Okay.
Who's your dream opponent?
Oh. It's hard to put. I've got 3 or 4. I'm gonna have to narrow it down.
Say all 3 if you want.
Yeah, I might need to. I'd love to wrestle Danielson. I'm not the most gifted technical wrestler in the world, but I think he's just such a wrestler that I feel, again, it's that wrestling mic thing. It's by osmosis. I think I'm just going to become a better wrestler by wrestling someone like Brian. So yeah, just being able to even just sit under the learning tree of like being in that process with him, I think would just be absolutely phenomenal. I'd love to wrestle Brody King. I think just two guys is absolutely belting the piss out of each other. I love how he wrestles. I think he's fantastic. And yeah, that's another person that I'm just sort of like, I think we'd mesh well in that sort of situation. Got one that's like, it's eluding me. It's right on the tip of my tongue. It's gone. I think it's gone. It's there, but it's gone. Oh, Mark Davis. No, Davis as well. Another Aussie. Again, another Aussie who's absolutely killed it within the last couple of years. Phenomenal wrestler. Like when he Aussie Open over in the UK was again one of those when there was that Aussie exodus where everyone went to the UK. You had like Tony Storm, Charlie Evans, you had Aussie Open, and everyone was over there. And that was watching that was kind of what got me into wrestling over here, because I was like, well, I want to do that. I want that. That's what the future I want. I want to be able to do this and be that style. And yeah, Davis has always been someone that I've at times modeled myself over too much. But yeah, his style and his approach to wrestling is just something that I really respect, and I in a way try to emulate with how I work as well.
Okay. Like that.
Absolutely. So, what keeps you going in wrestling? What's the one factor that makes you want to wrestle more and more and more and more?
I think I'm addicted to it. It's that weird. I've become accustomed to the reaction and the feeling of it. Like when the adrenaline starts pumping and you're about to go out there and like your music hits and it's sort of that like, yeah, it's go time, it's ready to go. I wouldn't trade that in for the worlds. Like right now, I think it's having that knowledge that I can go out there, and also like as much as it's coming to me and I can like the barking happens and everyone's like chanting along or they're getting into it, and I get to go in there with a lot of times people who I love and respect, and we just get to absolutely batter each other. It's knowing that at this point in time, with how the world is and it's all a bit miserable and it's all a bit horrible, can give someone, if the match goes 7 minutes or it goes 27 minutes, for that amount of time, I can give someone an escape. I can give someone something to watch and sit down, and they don't have to worry about nothing else. They can just watch me throwing myself through glass or getting slapped in the face, or catching someone on a dive on the outside or hitting various pile drivers or whatever. Just for that short amount of time, that escape can happen for them, and I love that as well. That's been a more recent thing of like that realization of like, no, it's like as much as everyone wrestles for themselves, being able to go out there and wrestle for an audience who is paying the money to come and see you and be entertained for that 3 hour, however long a show goes. If it's 3 hours and your match is last or it's first, they're there to be looked after and entertained and that sort of thing. And I think that's really important in 2026 as well.
Yeah, completely understand that. What is the plans for you for the rest of the year, or even rest of the year, 2026?
Well, hopefully, I'll still be heavyweight champion by the end of 2026. I've got a defense next weekend in a street fight, which if I come out the other side of that, there'll be another defense and there'll be another defense. So hopefully, still heavyweight champion by the end of the year, but you never do know. I'm looking international. I'd love to do a trip to Japan, America, England, just do a little excursion, 6 or so weeks, say, like August, September kind of time is our slow down time in Perth, because it's when the footy season starts, or Australian football starts over here. So it's kind of our slow down time. So that sort of like 6-week excursion would be invaluable. I think I'll come back a much better wrestler than I left. But yeah, trying to get over everywhere really. I'd love to go back. I wrestled Adelaide in January. I'd love to go back. I wrestled in Sydney last year. I'd love to go back. I'd love to wrestle every state. I haven't wrestled in Victoria since 2023, but again, I'm a completely different man than I was back then. So I'd love to go back there. And just on a homegrown sort of goal, I just love to keep growing the scene here, growing EPW, growing Dude Where's My Ring, fostering the new sort of crop that are coming through, because we've got a lot of them. Just fostering that crop to be like, okay, we can make this the envy of everyone else if we just keep investing in ourselves and investing in what we're building over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing we've not spoke about is obviously the fan base. How would you describe the Australian fan base in your own words?
Rabid. They fucking love it. Like it's because it's such a niche market, professional wrestling in Australia. It's so when people get the opportunity to go to it, they latch onto it. Like I think EPW's got some of the best fans in the country. They're stunning. They will follow us up and down the state, well, up and down the Perth metro area, I suppose. But they will also go to other shows because that's just what they love. Sydney's very much the same. Adelaide's very much the same. They have this like, I just love it because we don't, again, as much as we get overlooked as wrestlers, the fans kind of get overlooked as well. Like every now and again, like less so recently because we've had the WWE come to Perth, you've had AEW go to Brisbane and Sydney, but a lot of the time it was like you'll get one show in Melbourne every 2 years, or you'll get like, yeah, it was literally that. I think I remember the last time WWE came to Perth, from my memory, was like 2010. Like before recently, it was like 2010. Other than NXT came down, but again, that was Shane and Mike were in NXT at the time. So we get really overlooked. We have WSW, which is a company down here where internationals will fly in and they'll wrestle like a tour, and they'll do like a 5-date tour across a couple of cities. But again, we've had to do that. Australia's had to do that. It's not a big company coming here and going, here's our people. We have to like. So I think the fans, when they get something and they love something, they will just get behind it fully. They will get behind it 100%. I think we're definitely seeing that with the dropouts recently. Like they've got so much love behind them. Jesse Lambert's another person from Perth that there's just so much love behind them that it's just sort of like, you're our person. Go. We will support you no matter what you choose to do. And that's really nice. That's lovely. That is
Awesome. So something that we've started to do, there's this off the top, we'll call it. I don't know. We've not even got a name for it yet. So we will ask you a few questions, from like describing it. It's called it describe a professional wrestler, kind of.
Okay.
So, but we're going to do it from the Australian scene, and you can even have people from the past who's in AEW and WWE or who's there now. So the first person that comes to mind when I say strength to you, who is it?
Oh, Mark Davis, straight away.
Okay. What about speed?
Velocities, Paris De Silva and Jude London.
Yeah, see that. Charisma.
Matt Hayter. I hate to say it.
Yes.
He's going to clip that as well.
Technical ability.
Oh, God. Damian Slater.
Okay. High flying ability.
Oh, God. It's my brain. It filled like 15 different people. It's velocities again.
You can't use the same one.
I can't use velocities again. High flying ability. Okay. Alex Kingston.
Okay.
Mic work.
Mic work. James Hartness.
I like that one. Entrance.
Slamu, which is a deep cut, but Slamu from Adelaide. Not from Adelaide, from Slam.
Okay. What about storytelling?
Tuckman. Tuckman is the first one that comes to mind.
Okay. So who's overall?
Overall, Robbie Eagles. That is my high flying one as well. Damn it. That was.
I like that.
Yeah, but no, Robbie's absolutely. Oh yeah, my God. Didn't mention Kyle Fletcher at any point during that, but I feel bad about that now in hindsight because he's again another absolute blinder. But when I think Australian wrestling like royalty, Robbie Eagles is just, my God, he's so good.
Yeah.
Nothing from me.
So there's another thing that we'll do as well. It's called A and B questions, and because you're from Britain as well, that makes it more interesting.
Ooh, okay.
So the first one, Tim Tams or a penguin?
Okay. I am gonna throw Tim Tams. Tim Tams are so much better than penguins, and it's not even up for debate. I'm sorry. The Australian chocolate. I don't know what it is. Those Tim Tams. I've been converted.
Okay. Fish and chips or all day breakfast?
All day breakfast. Full English. Got to be had. I like fish and chips, but if that was on the table last meal, it's full English.
Okay. Perth or London?
Perth, hands down. I love this city. Can't even. There's no debate.
Okay.
Mine's wrestling related. Face or heel?
Heel. always been attracted to. Always been like the heels. Always had my brain. Like Jake the Snake, Cactus Jack when he was in Japan. Like heel Stone Cold. I know he didn't like it. I loved it. So
Okay. So you've got Deathmatch Wrestling or a 3 Stages of Hell match.
Ooh.
I've never done a 3 Stages of Hell, so I'm going to say 3 Stages of Hell because I'd love to do one.
Okay.
Because yeah, 3 Stages of Hell would be mad. We had one in Perth. This was years ago now. Actually, this is coming on about 8 years ago. The Untouchables. I think it's on YouTube. The Untouchables versus the Street Gang Hooligans did a 3 Stages of Hell tag team match. Mental, absolutely phenomenal. Like Street Gang Hooligans is a team from Perth who it was Logan Gray and Alex Kingston, and they only had like a very short run, but they were absolutely mind-blowingly good pro wrestlers. Like just again entertaining, where you can just sit down and you can just enjoy wrestling. As a wrestler, you can just turn your brain off and just go, yeah, this is mad. This is the best.
Okay, AEW or WWE?
At the moment, I'm consuming more AEW, so I will say AEW.
Everyone's saying that.
Everyone
says that.
I try to keep up with both, but just on a weekly basis, I will sit down and I'll watch more Dynamite than I will WWE program.
Okay. Christmas in the UK or Christmas in Australia?
I don't do well with the heat. I've not been I've been climatized where it gets too cold over here, but it gets too hot over here. I'd have to say Christmas in the UK, mainly because of all the various bits and bobs that Marks and Spencer's bring out. And also, I just love a bit of snow when it does snow.
Okay, text or call?
Oh, text. Oh, absolutely. I see a phone call and I'm like, and then you'll answer it. It could have been a text anyway.
Yeah,
that is true.
I've got no more.
But if I had to choose in between, I love a voice message. Voice messages. Me, Chevs, and Dusk have a emos group chat, and it's just voice messages of energy drink reviews. That's basically what we talk about.
Yeah, Dusk did say that you three are like the tribe of the emos.
Yeah, we have the emo triad over here.
Yeah, the three amigos.
Yeah.
Who's your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling?
Oh. Misawa, Terry Funk, Danielson, and Cena, I think. That's my.
Okay.
Is it 4? Is 4 of them up there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it the grandfather's one? Can I have more?
Yeah, you can have one.
Is it the 5 grandfathers?
I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not from America.
Neither
Everyone's always said 4, but yeah.
I'm gonna get an extra one because it's me. I'll get another Big Daddy because my nan loved him.
Okay.
Different, but yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah. Absolutely. As we obviously begin to wind down, mate, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Plug myself at James Hartness PW on Twitter and Facebook, I believe, and I'm James Hartness Pro on Instagram, EPW Perth everywhere, DWMR Perth everywhere. Yeah, just shout out EPW, shout out for Dude Where's My Ring, shout out for the boys, and yeah, thank you boys for chatting to me. It's been lovely.
Absolutely.
No worries. So the last question, it's not even a question, it's just an inspirational message. What would yours be?
When faced with a closed door, so I said it earlier, when you're faced with a closed door, just open it. That's how doors work. When there's opportunities in front of you in life and you feel like you can't do it for whatever reason, there is someone in the world that is facing their last day. They are the same age as you. They may have gone down a different path. They're the same age as you, and they are facing their final day. For them, if not for yourself, carry on.
I like that.
I love that. Absolutely.
So what we are going to do is we're going to let you say whatever you want. You've plugged everything, but you're going to say one last little thing, message, what, blah, 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 and then we are going to end it. But on behalf of me, thank you. And Liam.
Jay, it's been an absolute blast, mate. I've absolutely enjoyed myself today. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you both. Absolutely, yeah. No, absolute joys. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, mate.